Welcome to Packmates, a podcast about the Magic the Gathering Limited. We're going to take a deep dive into the current limited format of Magic. And the Packmates are a group of helpful card sharks that love drafting, hanging out, and going to FNM. Don't forget to check out our socials and join our Discord. Links are in the descriptions. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm Andrew, the green red oil correspondent.
I'm Robi, the resident Dirtle expert.
And I'm Ryan, the artifacts expert.
And this week, we're going to talk about our FNM drafts and Rochester drafting.
Yeah, so this week I had... Oh, actually,
forgot the and,
I forgot my and. My one
line.
thing I'm scripted to do. Yeah, and Packmates. Yeah,
You're so ready for this. So I'm so
I'm ready. I'm very passionate. So this week at FNM, we didn't draft normal. It was a special occasion. So we ended up, I convinced everyone to Rochester draft. Nobody wanted to do it. I convinced everyone to do it, and then was Omega salty after all of it. But yeah, we did it wrong too.
Yeah, we did do it wrong.
I thought, so everyone always talks about Rochester drafts. So I kind of just assumed everyone knew how to actually do it properly. Nobody does. No, like nobody did, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean, me and Austin have done kitchen table ones or whatever, but
yeah, never with like 8 people.
Yeah, never with 8 people, obviously.
Yeah. Have you done them with 8 people, Andrew?
No, I never did. I did it with I think we did a 4-man one time, and that was about it. And I honestly just forgot about the rotation rules, and it's just, man, it had been so long, but it was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It would be fun to do again, for sure. I'm not sure if this set is very good for Rochester. It seems like this set would be a little trickier to Rochester because the decks are so streamlined.
I would agree.
I feel like drafting in this format might be OP.
Yeah, it hurts a lot, right? Like taking 1 or 2 key pieces can really hamper.
Can you imagine somebody drafting green-white toxic and then the signpost comes up and you just take it right in front of them? It's just like, oh, there's my deck.
Yeah, my deck doesn't work now.
It took 1 piece.
Oh, you really needed that Vincer.
Or the white-blue artifacts deck and someone takes, Cephalopod or Unctus's Retrofitter, and it's just like, oh, well.
There's my draft.
Cut my win rate by like 3%.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it the wrong way though. So we didn't do like the rotation right. So the person who went first got to go
first.
It was like a regular draft, but it was, which it shouldn't have been. It should have been there should have been like a rotation.
It should have been a snake style draft. It should have been a snake draft, but we did it as a circular draft.
Yeah.
It should have went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
For each pack, and we did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. It should have been
So, and since I opened the first pack, I get the ash.
Hard carried.
Even though I feel like I didn't get that big of an advantage, because I feel like my pack 2 would have been, or my second and third pick would have been way better than what they actually ended up being. But I did get some advantage, so I will concede that.
Yeah.
I still think the way that we did it, picks 4 and 5 might have been best set up.
I think the way that we did it would have been way better in another format. Like it would have been fine in another format where like there were more playable like cards and archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like in like Dominaria United, that would have been fun.
Right. Yeah.
It would have been totally fine.
Yeah, because you can play like everything, right? Like in Dominaria United, like if you're in red green, every red and green card almost is playable in your deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Every red or green card, some black cards, some blue cards. Like you just literally could play everything, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And this deck is way more narrow. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So
it was fun.
Yeah.
Tell us about your deck, Ryan.
Okay.
Monstrosity.
Well, this is the deck that comes about when you just always make the correct pick.
Yeah,
And what this is a Esper, just good stuff deck. Started off with a Vinzer Corpse Puppet. That's the blue-black 1/3 lifelink toxic one. And when you proliferate, you make a 3/3. And if you already have a 3/3, you give them flying in haste or flying in lifelink.
Was that your first pick, Ray?
No, my first pick was actually Atraxis Skitterfang. I opened the first pack. I don't remember what my rare. Oh yeah, my rare I ended up tabling because it was bad. It was the 4-mana green thing that lets you cast stuff from your graveyard. So I pick one, took Atraxis Skitterfang, which is the 2/2 that comes in with 3 counters, and you can give a keyword to somebody at the beginning of combat. And then second pick of that pack, I took Augury. Was that the one I took Augury? Or was that when I took something else? No, I took the rare. I took my rare, second pick of that pack.
Yep.
Just as a chance to splash. And then basically went into Esper. Like I started off heavy blue, then like some good black cards tabled. And then I ended up with some good white cards. I was just like everything. I think if I had to call my deck something besides Esper, it would probably be white, black, splashing blue. I pretty much splashed blue for Tamiyo's Immobilizer, Unctus's Retrofitter, and Vinzer, and Surgical Skull Bomb. And then I also just happened to have a couple other 2-drops. I was like, sure, since I'm already in blue. I had 4 pieces of fixing. Those are like the biggest, like most important commons in my deck. Dune Mover, Prophetic Prism, Phyrexian Atlas, and Terramorphic Expanse. I do think I needed all 4 because I was drawing 1 every game.
Yeah.
And 1 was pretty good. Like 1 basically set me on land, depending on what it was, right? Like Dune Mover maybe doesn't, but it always did for me because I had 2 other ones, so I just had to find 1. But Prism and Atlas just set me, right? Because I only had like 2 gold cards in my whole deck. So 1 Dune Mover or 1 Prism or 1 Atlas, and I'm good. I just had good tempo with bombs. My bombs were Black Sun's Twilight, White Sun's Twilight, Rhea Ivor, Bane of Bladehold. I guess you could say Vinzer, but Vinzer's not really a bomb, just more like a solid 2-drop role player. My deck's big this week. This was like super fast aggro, but I still did do okay against those. Like, but if there was an easy way to beat me, it would be super fast, probably toxic aggro. My sickest interaction or play was I Black Sun's Twilighted the 1/5 green and black signpost to get my Vivisection Evangelist back, which is the 4/4 Vigilance with Corrupted kill something. So I traded it off in combat and then got it back with Black Suns. And then luckily for him, I wasn't corrupted, or else it would have been basically a board wipe. But yeah, getting the 4/4 back at instant speed at the end of his turn after combat when he did like 3 poison to me was like super good.
Oh man.
And then like the next turn, he like played something and had White Suns in my hand, and I used Indoctrination Attendant to return Vivisection Evangelist to my hand. And like he didn't really have a board, so he either had to develop or just get beat down by Indoctrination Attendant. But he knew I had White Suns, just because like why else would I return a 4/4 Vigilance in my hand?
I mean,
it was
just reloading that in general. Obviously, just helping to reload that.
Well, he wasn't corrupted yet.
He wasn't.
He wasn't corrupted yet, but like I knew with White Suns, right? Like he was going to be corrupted very, very shortly.
I'm pretty sure he'd just lose after that cast.
Yeah. You just
like, I don't think it matters if toxic. He's died in 2 turns.
It just ends it faster, right? Like the one thing he does that maybe buys him a turn, like if he plays a creature, it just doesn't buy him the turn anymore because I just kill it, right? Lesson I learned from the draft is you just take the best card in every pack, but like not necessarily the best card that fits with what you already have if what you already have is strong. Like you still want to take the best card in every pack if it's like to a certain degree, but sometimes what you have is stronger than the best card in the pack, and the best card in the pack would completely pivot you, and it's not always worth it to do that.
Yeah, that must be easy whenever you have White Sun's Twilight and Black Sun's Twilight.
I got those like
Man,
pack
so
three.
So much knowledge.
I got those literally pack 3, and because I drafted in such a way that my spot, I was in the right color pair for my spot. You know, that's why they got passed. Okay. Yeah. That's why they got passed. Because like if I was Demir and then the guy next to me was an Esper, like those would never pass to me, right?
Well, I think the black spot you're right about for
sure.
The
black and the white, yes. The blue is cap.
I mean,
the blue makes your deck worse.
I disagree highly.
You wouldn't just trade it for like white cards, right?
Tamiyo's Immobilizer and Unctus's Retrofitter are just super good in my deck. Period. Like they both stabilize me instantly. Malketeer's Watcher, Serum Snare are like questionable, sure. And Venzer was a 1/3 lifelinker, which was super good. Like 1/3s are good, and 1/3s with lifelink are even better when you're the slow deck, right?
Mhm.
So you admitted that you have like 3 good white cards, right? 3 good blue cards, right?
Yeah.
You have 3 bad cards. Well, two really, just to play those, right?
Not super really. Like if you say
Prophetic Prism and Phyrexia All are bad, right?
okay, Prophetic Prism I drew with the 2 indoctrination attendants wasn't as big of a liability because
Yeah.
I was able to get 2 cards off of it quite often.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then Phyrexian Alice is bad. Like Phyrexian Alice is the worst card in my deck, and it was a necessity. But also think about it like this: even without the blue, I want to get to 7 mana because I have White Sun, right?
Yeah.
So, and that just helps me get there. That's
Yeah.
so I was like,
Listen,
I was like borderline cutting it, but like I was like with the Twilights, like I might as well just.
Indoctrination Attendant just looks really sick in your deck.
Yeah, Indoctrination Attendant was an all-star. That's a 3/4 that you like bounce something and get a 1/1. It was super good. I bounced Retrofitter to make the 1/1 into a 4/4. Like after they'd already killed my first 4/4. It bounced Prophetic Prism to draw me an extra card. It bounced Vivisection Evangelist to get another kill trigger. Like it was just good.
All-star Flensing Raptor.
Flensing Raptor kind of never really shined in this deck, honestly.
It doesn't really seem like his
you don't
place.
have corrupted stuff, really.
Yeah.
The Mandible Justin card looks a little sus, but I understand you want to have the life gain to get to the late game.
Yeah, he like enabled a couple early attacks to get like he gave me 3 life on turn 3, right, and then 2 life on a block, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just Ishiar into any other artifact, getting past their 1/3, and then 2 life on the block. It was necessary almost.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely is the definition of a bomb kind of just good stuff deck. I mean, you got two of the best there, and then that Rune of Blade Hold's pretty good too. I found that to be pretty interesting in some of the games that you drew it.
Yeah, Rhea Ivor, Bane of Blade Hold. She's like it's like the 3/4 with Battle Cry for some reason that like at the beginning of combat, even the turn that you play her, she targets something and prevent the damage it does to a player, and then you make that many 1/1 mites, and she probably made me at least 3 mites every time she hit the battlefield.
So do you think
immobilizers?
So we Rochester drafted this, or we played with everything face up. You think you could get this deck again, not knowing all the information? Like you not seeing what people are picking and getting all. I mean, that's a lot of information, and you just like being alone on an island, kind of figure out what everybody else is doing. I don't know if this deck comes together again like that.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I took the Venzer first, and without watching a few people next to me on this podcast, like hard.
I don't think you would have taken it. Yeah.
Oh no, I would have. I still would have taken it.
I think you would have taken it, but I don't know what the final product would have looked like, because it's kind of nice when you start seeing kind of where people are at. Like if the guy next to you is the toxic deck, then you're not getting some. You can kind of plan ahead a little bit. I
know 2 things, Robi. I know you are forcing Demir, right? Like no matter whether the packs are open or closed, like I can see them or don't see them, right? Right? Like I'm assuming you're forcing Demir, whether we have information or not.
Yeah.
Before the draft. I'm to your right. This is the only chance I'm going to get this entire format to force Demir, and I get past the Venzer. I'm taking the Venzer.
Yeah. I think if you forced Demir, your deck would have been terrible, right?
Yeah. I mean, I took a chance to go into it with Venzer.
Like
I didn't. I don't think I forced anything.
Yeah, I do. I do. I do. Genuinely. Like, yeah. All right. So, is that all we got for that one?
Sure.
Sick deck. Else you would have? By the way, what was your record for the?
3-0.
3-0. Nice.
Yeah.
Good deck.
Thanks.
Well, I went 2-1 for the first time in about 2 months. So it was a hard pill to swallow. Actually, we tied, but and by standings I actually won. But yeah, that's
we played for fun. We did play for fun.
I got destroyed 4 times in a row.
Okay.
I'll be the first to admit it. It wasn't the best. So I played green red oil again this week. We were Rochestering. I see what people are picking to my, what I'm going to get past. I see a blue and white, or was it blue, white, black drafter and a black, blue drafter, passing to me. So I'm saying, okay, I'm just going to get out of that stuff. And so I go straight into Gruul, like right away. I knew I was just going to do that. That was what's happening. So some of the all-star standouts again, Chimney Rabbler, just take those higher than you think. Those guys are really strong. Making a 3-3 with haste puts a lot of pressure on the board, but that 1-1 that it leaves behind is actually pretty nice. When you want to trade off some things, when you want to just do a little chump blocking, or if they have some sort of sacrifice something, just put it in the way. They just keep bashing in. I had I had All Will Be One in my deck. I just wanted to try it out, and I don't think I quite had the oil payoffs I needed. There was another green red drafter just a couple seats over, and there was a red blue oil drafter actually on the deck on the table as well. And so that kind of they were kind of both taking the oil, so the oil wasn't as plentiful as I'd like it to have been. It would have been cool with like a churning reservoir in this deck just to get one ping every turn anywhere was really nice, but then to reset some of my other guys would have been pretty cool. And so I think I was kind of missing out on that. The Monumental Facade, that card's pretty good. Just reloading your guys with the oil on that it comes in with is pretty worthwhile. Other than that, yeah, this was just your straight up just pumps and fight spells and just go for it. I had a Volt Charge as some of my removal. That was the only real like hardcore removal there, which is not very good if you're trying to face off like some fourth. The 3/4s are pretty hard on this deck. It's just the way it was kind of built. And so I had I could deal with the smaller guys with this kind of deck where you have like the Ruthless Predations to kind of get through them. But if it ever went to a really late game state, I was in some big trouble without having that kind of punch through power that I had in my deck last week. Hazardous Blast was kind of nice. I guess that's kind of where Hazardous Blast was going in this deck, where it would just allow me to kind of punch through there. And so, yeah, I thought it wasn't too bad. So I went 2-1. Let's see. Biggest weakness was probably just the lack of oil in this deck. I really needed a couple of key pieces, and there was just a couple of green drafters out there that were grabbing some of the oldies that I just really needed. I thought I kind of read the table pretty well. I kind of knew just to stay out of some things, but the cards just weren't there. There's sometimes that just happens. You open the packs and you especially seeing everybody's pack open in front of you, you realize like, wow, I'm not going to get a darn thing in this pack. And so I kind of took some cards just kind of at random. Well, not random, but looking at the table, I'm like, man, I just don't want to play this. And so I took one of the 3/5 flyers. It's the mythic that double proliferates, or it doubles up your proliferates, and then it can get a uncounterable or indestructible counter on it. And so I took that. I don't think I could have beat that card like at all. I don't know if my deck could ever punch through that, and if they ever got indestructible, like that was pretty much it. So there wasn't anything in that pack that was better than that.
One thing about that though, that was another thing we did wrong with the Rochester though. Is like you shouldn't have had to play that unless it was the finals, right? Because like the way that we set up pairings,
the pairings were really
we should have done it like the person you're directly across from, and that's like another like way to like prevent hate drafting in Rochester drafts.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Not playing against, because I played against Robi, who was directly to my my right there, and it was kind of rough.
Who would have taken the card?
And so just knowing that, I was like, man, I can't beat that card. Like I just can't let Robi have that because he plays it, and I'll probably just lose on the spot because I have no way of punching through that. Like I don't have trample. I didn't have like anything like really to get behind or get over that. So it was just better than what I could have had. So that's kind of what I learned there.
Yeah, but I still think you hate draft like certain cards from the person on your right, because like even if pairings are correct,
to a certain extent,
you do have to beat that person to win the tournament. Right?
I don't think it was that wrong, right?
Yeah.
No, eventually you're gonna have to beat them. Like it's not like passing like a savage planeswalker or something. It's just like, how do I ever beat that? I guess I gotta pass it because it's not in my colors. But
because I was hate drafting after that, right?
Yeah.
Robi went on a.
That was so mad.
He was just upset when
Robi was sniping.
And he just could not get over it.
And he didn't get punished at all, right?
Oh yeah, because I did the right thing.
Because he had the first seed advantage.
Robi was out there headshotting green oil creatures for a while there.
Yeah, I took a bunch of Manuses. I had a Hex Gold Slash.
I just wanted to know
I
you
took
also-
every Maze Skull Bomb I saw for the rest of the game.
There was like 3 cards left in the pack, and I just handed Roby the Maze Skull Bomb like early, and Andrew was like, "What are we drafting for each other now?"
I was like,
like-
I would have.
It was like
I'm
the
not
most
taking
obvious pick of the draft.
like, I don't have playable cards in my deck.
Andrew was
Maybe he
upset
he
that I
wanted
handed him the only
good-looking
playable
foil.
card in the pack.
There's like a full art land in there. You know, maybe Roby wanted that first collection. He didn't need another Maze Skull Bomb
No.
first collection.
Nope. I need that Maze Skull Bomb.
Andrew was highly upset about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just
man.
trying to speed things up. I know what Roby's gonna take before Roby knows what he's gonna take. Okay.
Hey, what are you doing? What's going on here? Who's drafting for who?
Because we're just drafting for each other.
That may or may not have been a direct quote, everybody.
Oh god, it was a lot of
Oh.
fun though. It was a lot
Yeah,
of
we-
fun. I haven't seen Roby that mad like in my entire life. Well, one other time.
I will say, just for the record, it was like genuinely like probably one of like the least fun draft experiences I've had. Like it just wasn't really like I don't know. It just felt mega bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun, but like, I feel like,
I'm sure.
yeah, right. Like that checks out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it could be better, and it definitely would be better if we did it the right way.
Yeah, I think if we do it the right way next time, you know, it'll mitigate some of that because even when you're the last pick guy, you get double cards, so your deck gets a little bit stronger there. So you
I also just don't know about in this set. If you just hate drafting this set, it just like aggressively screws people, right?
Yeah, but like if everyone does it, then everyone's on the same level, right? But everyone's not.
Yeah, not everyone. No one was doing it really.
It kind of
So-
like it was kind of weird too because like we were all right beside each other, right?
Yeah.
Like
that was
kind
a
of-
murderer's row.
Yeah.
It felt bad for anybody drafting. It felt bad for anybody drafting any black or blue cards like coming on my side there. And I think it showed because like literally the person to my left was red, white. The person after them was was black, yeah, green, black, and the person after that was Naya. So they really destroyed like any kind of black, blue kind of shenanigans you wanted to do there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Anyway, so Roby, what did you come up with this week?
I played Demir. Shocker, right? Like I didn't even have to like it's basically almost the same as last week, except actually terrible. And yeah, I stuck my flag in the ground immediately. Right? Like did what I was supposed to. I first picked a prologue to Phyrexia. The one in a blue like poison card. Gives something a poison and you draw a card. Literally like unplayable in any deck except poison. Just put my foot down, right?
do you think that was the best card in the pack?
Yes and no, right?
Okay.
Like obviously probably not, right?
Right.
Like if we're just going off of a card
Like to you.
to
Right?
me,
Like every best card in the pack is subjective, right? Like even like regardless of stats, depending on the way you play, some cards are better and some cards are worse. Period.
yeah, that card should like I don't know. Like I just wanted to force, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
how
okay.
important was it just
Like,
to go
like
out there?
there,
and just
there
say,
was no reason for anyone else to take poison cards, right?
Well,
well,
Demir
any of the
poison
blue,
cards.
yeah, Demir poison cards. Like at that point, you're
Yeah.
staking the claim.
Yeah,
You're saying,
Demir
I'm
poison
all
cards,
in.
right? Yeah,
I'm all in right away,
straight
boys.
out the
Like
gate.
that's it.
Like if you
Yeah.
are on my right or left, I'm never passing you anything to do with it, right?
Right, but that
Yeah.
deck is so easy to disrupt too. Like just like you were saying with the hate drafting. Like sure, you probably
Yeah.
didn't know that going in,
Yeah, it's
but like
fragile.
2
No,
or
I
3
think
key
you-
pieces in the deck just can't function.
That
Yeah.
card's pretty fragile though. Like we've all kind of known that it's kind of fragile, but
It's
once it gets
mega
the nuts,
fragile. Like it takes
Yeah.
all of your picks to get this deck, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, and you play like almost like once you're like building the deck, you usually have like 5 cuts that aren't blue or black cards. Like,
Yeah.
You took Edict with on my pack. I took a Skitterfing, you took Edict, by
Yeah,
the way. And
yeah.
then you're talking about when you opened your pack, you took Prologue.
yeah, or
So
yeah,
it's technically your third pick.
yeah. I guess,
But,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I was like, when I opened my pack, there was a mythic, right? And I just took Prologue to Phyresis.
What was the mythic? I don't even
the
remember.
red,
All
the
will be
red.
one.
Oh yeah, that card sucks.
No, it's
not
very
bad.
good. It's very good, actually. But like
You
you
got the
gotta
turning reservoirs,
you
it's
gotta
good.
build around it as much as you do with Prologue to Phyresis, right?
Yeah, it's like a Demir card, right?
Yeah,
And red
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. Yep. And just didn't get there. Super didn't get there. And I ended up going 1-2
Oh, nice.
and just regular poison stuff. Ooh, my key uncommon. You should know the poison deck at this point, right? Like Prologue to Phyresis, I've already said what it does. Vraska's Fall, the 2 in the black. Sack something, get a poison counter, infectious inquiry. That's your core. You proliferate with mesmerizing doses. And yeah, my notable rares. I have one rare in my deck, and that is Geth, Thane of Contracts, which was actually garbage. like, like I didn't have enough playables to cut him. So yeah. I will say one uncommon that you don't always get in the blue black deck, but is usually like pretty okay, is the Ravenous Necrotian. The 2 in double black, you have to sack something or it's corrupted, and you get a 6/6 for 4, which is super good rate. It
Yeah.
hoses
That's
Gruul decks usually.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
But
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Was that pretty good in yours? Like, do you think
yeah.
that goes in Demir decks just in
Yes.
general?
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Okay, so
always corrupting. Your opponent's like almost always corrupted
Yeah.
by the time you get to like turn 4 where it's like relevant. Not always turn 4, but usually pretty close to that.
yeah, turn 5 or 6 for sure, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that card really stops that Gruul aggro deck right in its tracks. I mean, getting past
Mhm.
like it's very hard to get past. Like you can get past a 4 sometimes. For the most part, you should be able to get 4 toughness, but once you get to that 5 and 6 range, you really need a pump spell, and then now you're 2 for 1ing yourself trying to kill these creatures.
Yeah.
So cards
Unless
like
it's
that are really good.
Cataxian Anatomist, which is the
Yeah,
one for one.
yeah,
But
that
that
one.
card's very good too. Low key. That's like a Demir All-Star, low key. The Anatomist.
Yeah. That's
But
definitely
yeah.
a blue, black, gold card, right? I mean, I guess if you're in the
Yes.
oil, maybe, but I still don't think you
No.
even want
I
it.
don't even
No,
know.
you don't
Yeah.
even want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I will say my sickest interaction or play kind of had nothing to do with me, but was Geth of my opponent Blue Sun Zenith, the Geth,
Uh-huh.
the 3-mana 3/4 that gives your creatures -1/-1, and
Oh,
accidentally
no.
nuked their board.
That's
He kept me
hilarious.
alive one more turn.
Oh no.
Wait, they copied it? You
No,
took it and copied it, or they just only took
they just took it and blew up a bunch of mites.
Oh no.
So like in my deck, like I was like, wow, Geth is good. The only time Geth was ever good
Geth
was
bomb.
when, yeah, because Geth kills like my deck, right? Like I
Yeah.
can't play Voidwing
Yeah.
hybrid when Geth's out, right? And I
Right.
had situations where I
Can't
had
kill
him
the
out.
Billy is Skull Wielder. Oh my gosh, there's so
Yeah,
many
it's
cards.
terrible. It's actually garbage, right?
Was it 3/4 for 3?
It is
Yeah.
a 3/4 for 3. Yeah, I mean, good stats.
But like, it's so bad, right?
I mean, like, I feel like it's least bad in the Demir deck because you have like 5 creatures. It's a 3/4.
It like lets Andrew be able to get in over the top of my Anatomist. Like
Yes.
it's so bad. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah,
Genuinely.
okay.
Like and like what am I gonna return from the graveyard to the battlefield? Bilious Skull Dweller, the card that I would actually want to return, just automatically dies.
Cataxian Anatomist, man.
So
Cataxian Anatomist. Get
yeah,
in there. Extra.
yeah.
Where's the
Yeah.
I missed the
You do
Poison Belly
have
Rat.
exactly 3 cards you can return.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad. Like, yeah, you could just tell how bad this deck is. Like, I have to run the Maze Skull Bombs. And that Maze Skull Bomb actually isn't the worst card in my deck because Geth is in there. Like Maze Skull Bomb doesn't actively kill me like Geth does.
Oh man.
Is Edifice worth it for Dimir in general? There's paying the 2 life to kill. Like,
I don't like to play it. I don't like to play it. It's okay though. And on 17 lands, which I think the data on 17 lands is like mega wrong about Dimir, but it has it as like one of the top cards in Dimir.
I think
But it's okay. It's okay. Like it's good against black white, which is one of the decks that Dimir usually struggles with.
Like I definitely think you go against the grain even within the Dimir community for this set. Like I don't think you build Dimir decks like everyone else does. Like you know what I mean?
Well, I just think everyone else does it wrong, right? Like
yeah, right. Like I mean, sure. But like I'm just saying, like I don't think the 17 lands.
Yeah, the 17 lands data,
doesn't really
it's
apply
like
to you
mega
as
wrong.
much.
And like if you look at like 17 lands trophy decks with Dimir, they aren't doing this ever.
Right. Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like,
that's the reason I'm saying that, right?
Yeah.
Like because that's
they
what
don't.
I
I never see them with like Anatomist or they're like creature decks.
Yeah, they have the
and they
rats,
usually have
right?
like a bomb in there, right?
They have 2-drops that have poison.
Yeah.
And maybe a 3-drop or 2 that has poison.
Oh, I was missing the 2-mana poison creature. The flyer, pestilent, whatever, siphoner.
Yeah.
I should be playing 15 lands, yeah. Yep. But yeah, it was bad. I learned nothing.
You learned something. You got a front row seat to a master class on how to Rochester.
Yeah. Everyone talks about Rochester. Nobody's ever done it. That's what I learned. Nobody has ever done it. Like everyone who talks about Rochester is a liar and has never done it.
I've done it at the kitchen table with like 3 people, which is a huge difference in like 8.
Then like a full 8 pod, right?
Yeah. Like, do you know how hard it is to find 8 people that are willing to Rochester draft?
That is insane that we had 8 people to Rochester.
All you need is actually like it was kind of cool too because there were other people who wanted to join the draft. They were like, "What are you doing? This is kind of cool."
Yeah, like they're like, "What in the world?" We had 2 pods this week, and we took like an hour and a half to Rochester draft.
I gotta say, it was pretty cool to see all like the community growing there, though. We've got some really cool people. Yeah, so.
I was surprised that we had a full 8 for Rochester. I thought it was going to end up being like 6.
I thought we'd have the 6 and the other pod would have the 8, honestly.
Everyone wanted to do it. We even had like a new player, which is cool.
Yeah. People want to do it again.
I want to do it again.
Yeah. I will say, I think Rochester might secretly be better for new players.
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit.
Like it depends on how willing people are to help them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if people are willing to just say like, if you ask for help, give you help, you know, they can ask the table for some help. I think that'd be really good because then you can kind of get everybody's input and be like, look, this, you can kind of see this and you can kind of see that.
Which was like the exact opposite of what I expected from a Rochester draft. Right? Like I expected it not to be like friendly. Like when the new players said they wanted to do it, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, like when a player
I don't know if you actually want to do this. But yeah, it turned out fine for him. And it was interesting.
Especially when somebody passes a Maze Skull Bomb to somebody and said, "This is your pick."
Yeah, Robi needs a little guidance sometimes.
No,
that was just the only card that he could possibly take out of that pack.
Yeah, that was the only card that could go in my deck, right?
Gosh. Hey, you know, I know you.
I played him, right?
Yeah.
You did.
Andrew, I had a question that I missed on your deck tag.
Yeah, what's up?
You said you were, hate drafting bombs that you couldn't possibly beat, right? Like that's your philosophy for hate drafting. Is that why you took the foil Black Cleave Cliffs?
I didn't think there was anything better.
Yeah. Andrew, the resident hate draft or the rare draft hater.
Bomb heavy format, Black Cleave Cliffs can't beat it.
I needed bombs, man. I needed more bombs. Obviously it was cool to pick, but there was like an off weird chance where I was like, what if we get some black cards or something?
My deck did have a dark slick choice. That was one
Yeah.
thing that I missed. I was wondering why my lands looked funny. Yeah. Dark slick shores.
I almost would have hated a sea chrome coast if it was coming by just to
You
like
I would
did,
have
mess
didn't
up
you?
my.
No, he took, you know.
I took
No,
something else.
Andrew did take a Seachrome Coast.
Did I really? I
Because
don't
I was
even
going to
remember.
take it. Yeah, I was going to take it.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
was. I
wasn't
think
gonna
I
give it
was
to
looking
Ryan.
for that too.
Yeah.
I wanted it. Yeah, I wanted it real bad.
Maybe I did take it.
Shameless.
You did take it. Yeah, for
Shameless.
sure. I remember it.
I was so drunk on hate drafting, I couldn't believe it.
And you say I'm the least classy person here, Robi.
Do you think? Okay, so one quick question.
I was drinking Kool-Aid.
Should I? So I took a staff of completion. Should I have just jammed it?
Honestly,
I
you
almost
might
feel
have.
like all of us maybe. It's better than Geth, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't know. It's close. I think you're right about the proliferate, dude. Though, like you said, like it's actually playable if you have the 1/3 that when you proliferate you drain to.
yeah.
Oh,
Who took
yeah.
that? You took that? Yeah.
No, I didn't take that. I didn't. End up
Oh,
with
who
that.
did?
I don't know.
Somebody did. Did Andrew?
Maybe. No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's super good. Yep.
Keep me aspirant.
Give me a spire. Yep.
But like, I think it was the only
Aspirant,
playable
yeah.
card for his
Yeah.
deck pack.
It's
deck.
okay in his deck, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of. It's still like a little bit questionable.
I mean, it's still a 1/3 for 2 that like gives you upside on proliferation.
Yeah, I think anytime you're just
Yeah.
nugging your opponent for 2 and you gain 2 is just good. I mean, it puts the game that further away and puts you closer to winning. Even if it's not the toxic kind of idea you're going for, you still get it in, win.
I think it's better. It's definitely better in blue black because like you need the
Oh,
life to live.
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're like suiciding yourself, right? With like
Yeah.
infectious inquiries and like playing maze skull bombs. Like you're doing literal nothing, right? Like so.
Yeah, but if it was like a 1/3 that ETB drained to, you would play it in every deck, like every bite deck, right? So like if your deck can support that, like to where it is basically that, I think you just play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you have like 4 or 5 proliferate sources, like you just play it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm a
Cool.
fan of it. I think
All
like
right.
the void. I took the void wing hybrid over it, which
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
good.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
good.
that's just
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
yeah.
Unless
All
you already had the staff and the
yep.
Geth because you're playing, playing
The
the
gap. Yeah, gap is sick.
Biggest trap ever.
The
Alright,
gap killing my opponent.
All right, gents.